whispering lake. The dirt road ended abruptly at a clearing where an obsidian lake stretched into the twilight. No ripples disturbed its surface, just perfect, unnatural stillness that made my skin crawl. "This place isn't on any map," Jake muttered, unloading gear from our truck with trembling hands. GPS lost signal 20 miles back. Even my compass is spinning wild. I shrugged off the unease crawling up my spine like ice-cold fingers. That's what makes it perfect. No crowds, no noise, no civilization to ruin the experience. Sarah was already setting up her tent near the water's edge, though something about her movements seemed mechanical, almost compulsive. The gas station guy was probably just messing with tourists. "Don't stay past sunset." What kind of warning is that? Sounds like something from a bad horror movie. Marcus laughed, but it sounded hollow, forced. Local folklore. Every remote place has ghost stories. Probably helps keep the good camping spot secret. Yet his eyes kept darting to the lake, as if drawn by invisible threads. As darkness fell like a suffocating blanket, we built a fire and opened beers. The flames danced normally at first, then began to flicker and dim despite the windless night. The wood crackled wrong, wet sounds instead of dry snaps. "Fire's acting weird," Sarah observed, poking the logs with a stick. Sparks flew up and died quickly, as if the very air was swallowing them. Wood should be bone dry after this heat wave. That's when we heard it, a heavy splash from the lake's center, too large for any fish. Then another, and another, each one closer to shore. "Probably just fish jumping," Jake said. But his knuckles were white around his beer bottle, and his eyes never left the water. The splashing stopped abruptly. Silence pressed against our eardrums like cotton, soaked in dread. Then, cutting through the quiet like a rusted blade, Sarah. Her name drifted across the water in a voice that wasn't quite human, too wet, too hollow, like words spoken through drowning lungs. Sarah stood frozen, beer slipping from her nerveless fingers. Did someone just call my name? There's nobody else out here. "Marcus," the voice called again, now from a different direction entirely, circling us like a predator. We huddled closer to our dying fire. The flames guttered lower despite Marcus, frantically feeding it dry wood, newspaper, even some of his clothes. Nothing worked. The darkness crept closer. "Jake, we're leaving. Now." Jake grabbed his keys with shaking hands, but stopped dead. Our truck sat exactly where we'd parked it, except now it was facing the lake, as if something massive had picked it up and turned it around. The tires had left no tracks in the soft earth. The voice called my name next, and I felt something inside my chest respond. A tugging sensation, like invisible hooks in my ribs, pulling me toward the water. I grabbed a flashlight and swept the beam across the lake's surface. The light penetrated maybe 3 feet before the darkness swallowed it whole, as if the water was made of liquid night. But in that brief illumination, I saw them, pale shapes moving just beneath the surface, keeping perfect pace with the light. Human-shaped, but wrong. Too long, too fluid. "Get in the tents," I whispered through chattering teeth. "Stay quiet. Maybe they'll lose interest." We crawled into our shelters, zipping them tight like fabric coffins. I pressed against the thin nylon wall, listening to my heart hammer against my ribs and the gentle lapping of water that seemed to be getting closer. At 3 a.m., I woke to the sound of fabric tearing, long, deliberate strokes. Not from outside, but from inside Sarah's tent. Deep slashes appeared in her tent wall, as if invisible claws were working methodically from within. But through the nylon, I could see her silhouette. She was lying motionless, apparently asleep. "Sarah," I hissed, but she didn't respond. The slashing continued, creating a grotesque pattern. I unzipped my tent and crawled toward hers on hands and knees. My palm touched something wet and cold in the grass, a trail of lake water leading from the shore directly to her tent, as if something had dragged itself across the ground. Her tent collapsed inward with a wet, sucking sound. I tore open the entrance, flashlight raised with trembling hands. Empty, just shredded sleeping bag, scattered gear, and puddles of dark water that reeked of decay. And something else, something ancient and hungry. "Guys," I shouted, voice cracking. Jake and Marcus emerged from their tents, wild-eyed and pale. "Where's Sarah?" Marcus demanded, his voice barely above a whisper. I pointed my light toward the lake with a hand that wouldn't stop shaking. There, floating 20 feet from shore, were Sarah's hiking boots. Steam rose from them in the cold air. They were still warm, as if she'd just taken them off. The water around the boots began to churn and bubble. For a moment, I swore I saw Sarah's face looking up at us from beneath the surface, her mouth opening and closing soundlessly, her eyes wide with terror, and something else, recognition. She was trying to warn us. "We have to get her." Jake started toward the water, but I grabbed his arm. "No, look at the shoreline." The lake had crept closer while we slept. What had been a 30-foot distance from our tents was now barely 10 feet. The water lapped silently at the grass, advancing inch by inch with each gentle wave. "That's impossible," Marcus whispered. "Lakes don't just rise." But it wasn't rising. It was spreading, flowing uphill in defiance of gravity, reaching for us with liquid fingers. We broke camp in frantic silence, stuffing gear into bags with shaking hands. The truck wouldn't start, just clicked uselessly. The engine was bone dry despite being full of gas the night before. "The lake," Marcus whispered, pointing with a trembling finger. "It's surrounding us." He was right. Water now lapped at our feet from all sides, though I was certain we'd camped well inland on solid ground. We stood on a shrinking island of grass, the dark water reflecting our terrified faces like a black mirror. From the depths came Sarah's voice, but distorted, multiplied. Don't leave me here. So cold down here. They're hungry. So hungry. But it wasn't just Sarah anymore. Other voices joined hers, dozens of them, men and women and children, all calling our names with intimate familiarity, all begging us to come into the water. Some of the voices sounded old, ancient, as if they'd been calling from beneath for decades. The lake rose higher, defying physics. Our ankles, our knees. The water was ice cold and felt thick, viscous, like liquid mercury. Jake made a desperate break for what he thought was shore. But the water was everywhere now, an impossible ocean where a small lake had been. It pulled him down with barely a splash, invisible hands dragging him into the depths. His screams cut off abruptly, replaced by bubbles that rose to the surface and popped with tiny whispers. Marcus lasted longer, fighting against the unseen forces that wrapped around his legs like chains. They're cold, he gasped as the water reached his chest, his eyes rolling white with terror. So cold, and they're hungry. They've been waiting so long. The lake claimed him too, and I heard his voice join the chorus below, calling my name with desperate affection. I stood alone on the last patch of dry ground, maybe 3 feet square now. The water lapped at my boots with patience older than civilization. From below, my friends' voices called to me, welcoming and terrible. Come down with us. The water's not so bad once you stop fighting. We're all together down here. We can show you such wonders. But there was something else in their voices now, a warning hidden beneath the hunger. They were trying to tell me something, fighting against whatever controlled them. I closed my eyes and felt the lake rise over my feet, my ankles, my knees. The cold was absolute, penetrating to my bones. As the water reached my chest, I understood what my friends had been trying to tell me. We weren't the first. The voices in the water, dozens, maybe hundreds, were all the campers who had ignored the warnings, all the travelers who had found this unnamed lake over the years. The locals knew. They'd always known. The water reached my neck, and I felt them, cold hands pulling me down, welcoming me into their eternal vigil. But in those final moments, I realized the horrible truth. We weren't victims. We were guardians now. The lake returned to its perfect stillness, waiting. And now I whisper with the others, calling to the next group of unsuspecting campers who will inevitably find this place. Our voices carry across the water on windless nights, speaking the names we somehow know, drawing them closer to the shore. The cycle continues, as it always has, as it always will. The lake remembers everything. Before ending, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with where you're from and what time you're watching. That way, YouTube will keep showing you stories just like this one.